In the heart of Tokyo, nestled between the urban density and the sea breeze of the coast, stands the Tokyo Sea Life Park, an expansive marine aquarium that welcomes thousands of visitors each week. Beneath the shimmering glass domes and across the well-tended walkways lies a special enclosure, home to dozens of Humboldt penguins. Native to the chilly coasts of Chile and Peru, these medium-sized birds had adapted well to life in captivity. But among them was one penguin that refused to be just another exhibit behind glass. His tag number was 337. Number 337 was born in captivity, raised within the safety and routine of the aquarium. He had never known the call of the wild or the chaos of the open sea. His world consisted of feeding times, filtered saltwater pools, and curious human faces pressed against observation glass. But from an early age, the staff noticed something different about him. While most penguins waddled contentedly or socialized in their clusters, 337 would linger near the edges of the habitat, staring out beyond the enclosure. He often paced along the perimeter rocks, pausing in corners or beneath ramps as if studying something invisible. The first escape happened quietly. It was a rainy spring night, and the zoo had long since closed. When the keepers arrived early the next morning, they began the routine head count as usual, but someone was missing. The numbers didn't add up. Within minutes, it became clear 337 was gone. Initial panic gave way to disbelief. There was no obvious hole, no breach. Security guards scanned camera footage and found something almost comical: a single penguin waddling up a sloped rock wall, reaching the top, then squeezing through a tiny gap between the net and the wall edge. From there, it walked through the park, disappearing beyond the fence line. He was found later that afternoon near the edge of Tokyo Bay, standing on a concrete slope beside the water, calmly looking out at the waves. The staff retrieved him gently and brought him back home. The gap was sealed. Extra netting was installed. The incident, though bizarre, was written off as an odd one-time fluke. But then he escaped again. And again. Over the following months, it became a recurring story. Every few weeks, someone would sound the alarm. 337 is missing. Each time, the penguin found a new route, slipping past a cleaner's rolling bin, ducking beneath a tarp left behind during maintenance, even climbing over barriers that had been recently heightened. It was as if he was studying the environment and adapting his tactics. The escapes were never aggressive or frantic. They were quiet, calculated, and persistent. In total, he escaped 82 times over the course of 2 years. Each return brought with it a new round of enhancements. The zoo invested in taller fences, finer mesh, infrared detection, more surveillance. Nothing worked. At times, the staff had to accept a strange truth. One penguin was smarter, or at least more motivated, than their best security measures. The public fell in love with the story. Local newspapers ran photos of 337 waddling freely near Tokyo Bay. "The penguin who refused to be caged," one headline read. Children drew crayon sketches and mailed them to the zoo. One picture showed 337 in sunglasses sneaking past guards like a cartoon spy. Tourists arrived not just to see the marine life, but to ask the question, has 337 escaped again? Even scientists took interest. Behavioral experts and zoologists began discussing the case in lectures and interviews. Was this merely coincidence or a deeper sign of cognitive ability? Was it instinct or intelligence? Among the caretakers, the relationship with 337 evolved into something more personal. They admired him. A few joked that perhaps he remembered something ancient, some inherited memory of wide oceans and long journeys. Humboldt penguins, after all, are a migratory species. In the wild, they travel hundreds of kilometers between feeding grounds and nesting areas. Was it possible that even a penguin born in captivity still felt that pull toward distance, toward escape? One morning in late summer, 337 disappeared for 2 full days, the longest yet. The team searched with increasing worry, coordinating with local authorities, checking security cameras in the surrounding districts. On the second evening, just as concern peaked, a report came in. A penguin had been spotted near a suburban train station several blocks away. He was standing in a park beside a vending machine, drawing curious glances from passers. Zookeepers rushed to the scene. Sure enough, it was him, calm, dusty, and unbothered by the crowd gathering around. A small child had offered him a piece of dried squid. He hadn't moved. That night, a serious discussion took place behind closed doors at the aquarium. Perhaps, they reasoned, it was time to stop fighting his nature. Instead of continuing the arms race of fences and barriers, they began designing a new enclosure, one that embraced openness instead of restriction. It included walking paths, live trees, a gently sloped hill, and a shallow waterway that wound through a garden. The fences were reimagined, not as walls, but as natural transitions, high enough to ensure safety, low enough to feel free. And for 337, they left certain sections open entirely during the day, monitored from afar but unrestricted. From the first day he stepped into this new space, something changed. He no longer escaped. Instead, he walked, he explored. Each morning he would leave the cluster of his companions and stroll slowly down the new garden paths, past benches and small footbridges, pausing near the bushes or along the edge of the pond. Visitors would stop and point. Children would whisper. He had become not just a penguin, but a presence. Some staff believed he simply felt less confined. Others believed he had finally found a home he didn't need to leave. Either way, 337 remained where he was, day after day, always wandering, never fleeing. Years passed. Penguin number 337 aged gracefully. He remained healthy, active, and oddly solitary. He had become part of the lore of the park, a creature not just observed, but admired. Tourists still asked for him by number. Some said seeing him felt like watching someone who had figured something out the rest of us hadn't. A creature born into captivity, but never truly captive. Near the garden pond, a small bronze plaque was installed. It read, "Here lives penguin number 337, a spirit too free to be fenced." And every now and then, when the weather was good and the park quiet, a visitor would spot a single penguin standing at the far edge of the path, gazing out across the water with stillness in his stance and something very old in his eyes.